something, money to this organization, you can intercept it before they get it?
That's what we are doing. That's what we're trying to do. We have filed suits and sought temporary restraining orders that are in various stages of process yesterday to secure those boxes. We have spoken with the custodians of the boxes, and they have been temporarily secured pending further action by the courts.
Who is this group targeting, and how are they being solicited?
I don't know that we know all the details of that, but they're using professional solicitors, not themselves located in Ohio, typically working by phone and maybe other channels of communication, to approach Ohioans and to say to them, don't you want to help our troops in Iraq and the Gulf? And that's their pitch. And then they solicit contributions and they go back to the organization. As best we can tell, they have made a few scattered, small assistance efforts from time to time, enough to give the fig leaf of being a large organization that is dedicated to this mission. But it appears that those are few and far between. They've raised millions of dollars and spent perhaps thousands of dollars on veterans.
Whose campaigns have these monies gone to?
There's a list in your packet of candidates. They're from all over the country, including George W. Bush. There is a concentration for a number of Ohio politicians. They're all listed in there. That's information that comes directly from the Federal Elections Commission website.
Have the Ohio candidates been contacted and notified of this?
I don't know if they know of this or not, but there are at least a dozen Ohio candidates who've received thousands of dollars in contributions from Thompson directly or from NAVPAC, all of which are suspect in Virginia. Candidates and office holders are refunding those contributions and directing those monies to legitimate veterans organizations. We think that would be an appropriate thing for Ohio politicians to do here as well.
Have you received any contributions, Ms.
I have not.
Do they all seem to be Republicans that they're donating to? Or?
Nationally, no. There are Republicans and Democrats. In Ohio, as best we can tell, they're all Republicans. But you know, those are things that everybody can look at for themselves on the Secretary of State's websites, the FEC website.
Is the fundraising done entirely by phone?
We don't know for certain. We're in various stages of looking at this organization, but I believe that the vast majority, perhaps all of it, is done by phone.
And that is the pitch that you were quoting. Don't you want to help troops in Iraq?
Yes. It's that sort of thing. And different solicitors frame it in different ways, but that's their pitch. They're doing their part. You should do your part. That kind of thing.
Are you finding that there's one particular population that's being solicited harder or more than the others? For example, older people?
It's difficult by its nature with a phone solicitation campaign to know exactly who they have called. I mean, we know who has complained to us, and John and Joe have told me that they have heard complaints in their organization about this same entity. You know, phone solicitations often target our seniors, but it may be more general than that. It's hard for me to say.
Any idea how many people in Ohio?
Well, we believe that over the last 6 years, they've raised about $1.9 million. You start adding up contributions, that's an awful lot of people who sent money thinking it was for a legitimate purpose, and now it appears to us that there's every reason to think the whole thing is an elaborate sham.
How have they gotten away with this for this long?
I can't say why over the years. They weren't looked into more closely. You know, Bernie Madoff went for quite a while before anybody tumbled to him. We are trying to be aggressive in Ohio and protecting the reputation of our legitimate veterans groups. And there's a number of states acting together now against Thompson and his organization.
Who do groups like this have to register with, and who polices them or gives them oversight?
Typically, they register in each state where solicitations are occurring, and we have charitable solicitation laws in Ohio in the revised code that specify what you have to do in order for oversight to be exerted against your operations in a state. I will tell you, the political contributions angle on this is disturbing. Among the things that seems to have been uncovered to date is that there was large contributions made in Virginia, and in return they received an exemption from the registration requirements in the state of Virginia. Whether that had effect nationally or just in Virginia, most of these contributions have been targeted to federal candidates and office holders, so we don't know what their agenda may have been with the Congress. It's just hard to say. What we can say is that it stinks. Ohioans seem to have been taken in by this, have parted with their hard-earned money, and it's outrageous.
If you're
It's a 501c3.
It appears to be a 501c19. It's a version of a 501c3 type, but it's specific to veterans organizations per se.
Do you know if the IRS is investigating?
I don't know offhand, Jim, if the IRS is investigating, but we would call upon federal authorities and our sister states, about half a dozen of which are currently investigating. In Florida, particularly, they filed a cease and desist order, I believe, yesterday to shut down their operations there, and we understand criminal investigations being open, and that appears to be why Mr. Thompson has fled and is no longer responding to any authorities.
Has your office contacted any of the candidates on the list, or have they contacted you as to solicitations or contributions?
We have not our role.
Were they working off a list of veterans, or were they calling anybody?
Again, hard to say. We don't have access to phone scripts or strategy memos at this point. Over the course of our pursuit in the courts, we may get access to those types of things, but I would assume it was broader than that, but it's hard to say.
If you're allowed to confiscate the donations, will you return those to donors, or what happens to that money?
We will hold those subject to oversight of the court, and it would be my intention that any donations that can be secured would ultimately be returned to the giver, so that they're not out their money. There's been a lot of money already flowed through Ohio to this organization.
What do we know about their connection to Fairfield County? Why is this P.O. Box located in Lancaster?
Don't have an answer to that yet. There's a lot of mysteries here that we have uncovered that we don't have full answers to yet. We will keep you posted as we go, because part of this is we want the public to understand exactly what's happening here, and as it unfolds, and you all may look into it and find things that we haven't found, and if so, I would ask you to share those with our office.
Is there any indication that the people behind this are based in Ohio, or?
There is no indication that there is any individual connected with this organization in Ohio other than counsel who represents them. But the three listed individuals on the registration statement who are supposed to be people responsible for having custody of contributions in Ohio, as I said, appear to be fictitious, and that seems to be the pattern in other states around the country as well. So far, the only legitimate, he's not legitimate, the only actual living, breathing person that appears to exist connected to this organization, and then others who he's paying to do things like professional solicitors, is Bobby Thompson himself.
What's most upsetting to you about this?
There's multiple layers of upset about this. The first is that you have Ohioans thinking they're contributing to legitimate causes, and they're getting ripped off, it appears. You have veterans organizations like the one that Joe and John represent, who are out there trying to raise money, and it's going instead to this sham organization, and or the public ends up thinking, I'm not going to contribute to any of them because I don't know which ones are good and which ones are bad. The fact that charitable money would be raised and then funneled potentially into political campaigns is disturbing at a number of levels as well. And as I said, we don't have a good handle on exactly what the political agenda was, but it appears there was one.